Okay, here we are, another day, another discussion, all about credit. My name is Alfred Martinez. We're going to talk about secured credit cards. We're going to explore the pros and the cons of secured credit cards. We're going to see if this is an option that is good for you. Now, I just want to share a little bit about what a secured credit card is, and before we get into the pros and cons. So a secured credit card is a type of credit card. It's different than an unsecured. Secured credit card is going to be something that is going to be helpful when you're first establishing your credit business, your credit profile, or even if you're pulling out of some bad credit that you've been struggling with and you're trying to rebuild your credit. Um, Secured credit card could be an option for you, and I'm going to talk about that. And it's a valuable tool for building and rebuilding your credit. Now, they function a little bit different than a traditional credit card. But let's explore and let's understand the pros and the cons before deciding if this is something that is going to be right for you. So let's explore the advantages and the disadvantage of, let's said, secured credit card. Now, here's a couple of the pros. I'm going to go over some of the pros, and these are actually pretty good pros. I mean, they are actually a benefit to a lot of people. They are very helpful to a lot of people. And then we'll just decide, you can make the decision if this is something that's helpful for you. Now, number one pro on a secured credit card is that they're easier to get approved of. The approval rate is easier because secured credit cards are accessible, a little bit more accessible than an unsecured. And I'll show you and tell you why. Secured credit cards are accessible to individuals with limited or poor credit history. That's why this is a great and a valuable tool to build your credit. If you have limited or poor credit history, this is going to be an option for you. And how they work is because they're a secured credit card, they require a cash deposit as collateral. Issuers are more willing to approve clients with lower credit scores because you're partnering with them by giving a cash deposit to get you going. Now, these are great building opportunities for those that need to build their credit. Responsible use of a secured credit card can positively impact your credit score and your credit profile. So it does have a really good benefit. And over time, you can actually build credit with a secured credit card. Now, when you make timely payments and keeping your credit utilization low, that's going to be a benefit, just like any other credit card. But this one, because it's a little bit easier to get into the credit card, and if you maintain timely payments, keep your payment history going, and don't become late, don't get any late payments, then you will eventually build up your credit. And once you keep the utilization low, it's going to demonstrate responsible credit management to that credit card issuer. And this is going to help boost your credit score, and it's also going to provide great history for that credit card issuer for possibly giving you a better credit card in the future. Now, these are low risk for issuers such as Chase, American Express, Citibank, Wells Fargo, any of those credit card companies that do provide secured credit cards. It's a little bit of a less risk to them because you're coming in with some money as collateral. And since the credit line is backed by a security deposit, which is made from you, the risk to the credit card issuer is minimized, if that makes sense. Because they know you have skin in the game, you're bringing in some of your own money to create the balance, then they're more likely to give you the card. For example, if you come in with $500 cash and you use that as a deposit, well, that's going to be your credit limit, the $500 that you put in. They're going to give you a credit card, and then they're going to allow you to use it just like you would any other credit card with the limit of what you brought in. And it works just, like I said, it works just like a credit card, but the limit is going to be what you bring in. For example, here is a Capital One credit card. So if I want to apply for this credit card, I would give them $500, $700 to get us started. And then they would issue me a credit card just like this, and then I can use it just like any other credit card with the balance, with the limit being what I provided as collateral. Now it's lower risk to them, but it's a great way for you to build your credit. Even though you got to put in some money, it's a great way to build your credit by showing and proving to them, the credit card company, that you can make these payments on a timely manner and stay within your budget, and in time your credit score will improve. Now there are some cons to this, right? There's always a good and bad to everything, and I just went over some of the good because it does help boost your credit score. But there are some items that you should be aware of if you're going to go this route. And one of them is the security deposit itself, is that you're going to have to come in with some money, whereas an unsecured credit card, you don't. They'll just give you cash, give you a credit line because of your credit worthiness. But if your credit worthiness isn't that good, they will give you, it's possible they could give you a credit card, but you need to come in with the money to provide you the credit limit. And it's used as collateral. So if you default on any of it, then that's the collateral that you've provided. If you decide not to pay anymore, then they're going to just keep that money. But at the same time, though, it can tie up funds, right? Let's say you're on a limited budget and you need a credit card to start making credit, and you need to deposit $700 or $500 or whatever amount of money into this credit card. Well, now you're out that money in your checking account. But at the same time, you can use it. So it's kind of it works both ways, but it's just kind of it can tie up your funds temporarily if that's going to be an issue for you. Now, the deposit typically determines the credit limit, right? So if you only have $400 to spare, then that's going to be your credit limit. Whereas an unsecured credit card, they may give you a larger limit based on your credit worthiness. But these cards are for those individuals that need to help establish credit. That's what this is for. And also, the deposit typically determines your credit card, and you'll get the deposit back when you close the account. So that's good, but you won't get it until that time, and provided you've paid it off the account, right? So provided that you've maintained good credit history and you've maintained good payment history, when you're ready to move up to another card, most likely you should be able to get that deposit back. But if you default on the card, then they're going to keep it. Now, the number two reason that this has a little bit of a con to it, pros and cons, and the number two con is that it's limited credit. The credit line on the secured credit card is often measured by how much you put into it to begin with. So that's going to restrict your purchasing power. But again, it's not meant for that. It's meant for you to build credit, to show yourself approved that you can maintain credit payments, credit history, and you can stay within the limit. When you prove that to them, they're going to be able to provide you a better credit card in the future. Now, while these secured credit cards are excellent source of credit building, they really are. They're a good means to build your credit. They may not be the best card for you, right? They may not be the best card for a long-term option. It's great for a short-term. You need to build your credit. You need to start your credit. You need a little bit of help. A secured credit card is going to help you with that. But in the long term, they may not be the best for long term, where you're trying to establish a business or you need more purchasing power. So you might want to graduate from a secured credit card to an unsecured credit card at that moment or later in time. But it will help. It is definitely a tool builder to help build your credit. So you might want to consider a secured credit card if you need help establishing credit or rebuilding your credit. Now, as your credit scores improve, like I mentioned, consider transitioning to an unsecured credit card, which will give you much better terms and much better rewards. Because these secure credit cards, although you may be able to get one, you need to put in deposit. Some of them, if not most of them, do not come with reward programs, cashback programs, flyer programs, frequent hotel programs. They don't really have that. It's just a means of buying power, but at a limited cost. So, at a cost, because your buying power isn't that great. But again, it's really to help you build your credit. So This might be great. This will be a great tool if you, like I said, if you're first establishing credit or rebuilding your credit, but it's not a great long-term product. So hopefully this helps you out. And if you need help with your credit, if you need help fixing your credit, if it's in disarray or if it's in need of repair, contact me. You can email me down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can email me. If you're watching this on Instagram, go ahead and direct message me. My information is down below. I'm here to help you. I have a program that will help. We've helped many people fix their credit, and we can help you as well. So hope you're this is something that you can use as a valuable information. And I thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Please follow me on Instagram